role, retiring from his seat at the end of this year. And tonight he's giving his endorsement to the only Democrat in the race, Tammy Baldwin. Our Mike Lowe is live in downtown Milwaukee with tonight's political lowdown. Mike?
And good evening, Ted. That endorsement scheduled to come in an office building here on Wisconsin Avenue in downtown Milwaukee in just under an hour. That endorsement is really a foregone conclusion. As you mentioned, Herb Kohl is a Democrat, so is Tammy Baldwin. Baldwin, of course, is the establishment candidate, very familiar in Democratic circles. On the Republican side of that race, there are another 2 or 3 very familiar names to Republicans. So while the political parties are sending out the same names, very familiar names, voters that we speak to say that they want something new.
And it would be nice to have some other people that we could get excited about.
If you ask voters what they want in candidates for public office, they'll generally tell you they want something fresh.
There always needs to be new people coming into office, otherwise things just remain stagnant.
But year after year, it seems the names on the ballot stay the same.
The same old people. I think more people should get involved.
So why do voters settle for the familiar?
Politics, like anything else in America, is a business.
Voter John Adjavan has an idea.
It's like buying Campbell's soup. You know, this guy's consistent over the years, so what do you have to do? You know, pretty much stick with what actually pays off, don't you think?
The race for Wisconsin's open U.S. Senate seat, for instance, features recycled candidates like former Governor Tommy Thompson and perpetual candidate Mark Newman.
We need to change the culture.
The so-called fresh face is well-known Assembly Speaker Jeff Fitzgerald.
It was better timing for me.
On the Democratic side, the only candidate is a 7-term Congresswoman, Tammy Baldwin.
And this is a real success story.
There are no fresh faces even challenging her in a primary.
More often than not, the candidates, instead of being a fresh face where we say, who the heck is that? It's a recycled face, either because they've held statewide office before or they've got the money to establish name recognition.
UWM Governmental Affairs professor Mordecai Lee says the lack of new candidates boils down to fundraising.
Once you've got that brand, it's so much easier to run in another race.
Chris Hayworth is a political consultant who has advised Democrats and Republicans. He says this year's combustible climate has made new candidates timid.
Resources are spread extremely thin. There is not a lot of candidates, there's not a lot of money, and there's not a lot of organizational people behind the candidates. A lot of the best people are already working on the Walker campaign, and now they're going to be on the Baldwin campaign. So even if there was a candidate that stepped forward, who's going to help them raise money? Who's going to run their campaign?
And outside of that U.S. Senate race, there is another big question looming for Democrats. Who could potentially emerge as a candidate to take on Scott Walker in a possible recall race? When you talk to voters, the one name that universally energizes the left is Russ Feingold. And he, of course, is another politician from the past. Reporting live tonight in downtown Milwaukee, Mike Lowe,